Right. Good morning, class. And as I just discussed with you, before I start the discussion of the topic that is the summit within, and I'll just discuss a little bit about the importance of having a balanced diet. Right. And Vedanti, please take that screenshot. Okay. And here, yes. So when we talk about a balanced diet, what is it? Can anybody tell me what it is? Yes. Yes, so a diet which has all the nutrients. So you need carbohydrates, you need fats, you need proteins, you need fiber, you need your vitamins, you need your minerals. All that is required or not? And how many of you tell me? Just raise your hand when you go home and yes, so you see that today for lunch, mommy has made vegetable and curd. How many have a smile on their face and how many make grumpy faces? A smile only, and how happy with whatever mommy cooks. Yeah, what does it mean make this dal every day? Anybody complains about that? Oh, we're very good people here. But of course, yes, it is very nice. We're very happy with eating home cooked food. That is the best thing to do, right? And yes, we have a fruit break. Do you all bring fruits to eat? Give me a yes or no. I can't see your head shaking. Yeah, I can see say and suction because I noticed the difference also which they bring. And when there's a food break online, the students at home also, do you have something to eat at that time? Yes, right. And you know why? Because nowadays we're sitting a lot in front of the computer for your online classes, you're doing your homework also, and we need to move about, all right? And yes, so any time of the day, any time of the year, what is one thing very, very important? We have to focus on our diet, right? Make sure that yes, you have a good breakfast, right? Your lunch should have, like yes, your vegetable and your dal or your curd and have a salad, right? And yes, drink lots of water. That is also very important for your, right? Avoid all these sugary juices and things like that, right? Cut out on your junk food if you can. But then, yes, once in a while it's okay. You people run around so much and you're very active, so you're able to burn up those calories. But you need, this is your growing age. And you need to get all the nutrition. So we're going to have a lot of saag and makki ki roti in the coming seasons. So you are going to have a lot of green vegetables, right? Your methi roti and everything there. So it's tasty also and it is nutritious also, right? Yeah, so it is very, very important. Have a fruit every day. You have fruits? Yes, right? You eat all the dals that mommy cooks for you? Yes, you do. That's nice. Do you like all the vegetables? You like Karela and oh wow, I heard one person saying you like Karela. That's very nice. You also like Karelas? Very good, very good. Rita, what about you? No? Right? You should eat, of course, like everybody is comfortable with all. You love the bitter gourds. Very nice. Very nice, like. And yes, because every and vegetable has some nutrition to offer us. One thing more, we should eat seasonal and local foods, right? Oh my God, I'm feeling very hungry and let me have an avocado spread on my sandwich, right? Yeah, or let me make somewhat cheesy dip or things like that, right? Once in a while it is okay, but of course avocado is not local, it is not seasonal, so it is not so healthy for us, right? So the fruits which are in season, the vegetables that are in season, you must focus on that, right? And everything tastes nice when it is in season, isn't it? Yes. So make sure that you are going to, and even if nothing else, like you have that, mommy makes you like dal roti also. She makes that and she puts a lot of, so with curd also it is very tasty and it has all the nutrients, right? So make sure you can, like of course, don't say, oh my God, I'm going to have my strawberry smoothie, or my apple smoothie. So instead have those vegetables in your diet. Instead have the salad, have it, like so that you get the fibers also. That is very, very important. So you have a lot of fiber, you're going to have a good digestion, you're going to have good skin. Right? Okay. So So please, right, so make sure that, yes, if you have a food break, you're supposed to bring foods. Okay, you have a lunch break also, so bring something, right? And of course, not Maggi and macaroni and everything, because it's not tasty. Of course, it is good to eat with a lot of vegetables you've added it, but make sure that you have a balanced and healthy diet. Now, when you're talking about balanced and healthy diet, we're going to start with the next chapter, that is the summit within. This chapter is about mountaineer. Yes. What kind of a diet do you think that these people need? You want to be physically very strong. You want to have a lot of stamina. What kind of a diet these people should have? Yes. More of proteins, less of sugars and all. Yes. So when you talk about athletes also, but you know, when you see athletes and all these people here, they participated in the Olympics and all, their diet is much more than we have. Because they need more energy, they practice a lot, and they're physically so active. We are there. What is our physical activity? You might go for a walk, and you might go for a run here and there, but we are not as active as them, isn't it? So we have to cut down on the activity. Okay. So yes, what about mountaineers? And mountaineers, they go to very low temperatures. What about the food over there? What do you think they eat over there? Such high, low temperatures. What are they going to carry with them? What? Boiled food? Boiled eggs. Will carry the boiled eggs will last for 3 days. Then fruits. Okay. Will last. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fruits might. And they might not get cold, spoiled in the cold weather. What else? Water. Water will become ice. Yes. So what about it? What else? What else do you think? Tents they have to carry. They naturally have to carry the tents. But what about the tents? If you stay in the tents, what about it? Frozen food, absolutely not exactly frozen, canned food that they take, right? The preserved food. But of course, how do you think at such high altitude and at such low temperatures, how do you manage to cook? I want to have that. Are they going to make that? No? Always my makki ki roti. Is it? Like, yeah, no. So they are going to manage with the food. They are going to carry with the frozen food, with the canned food and all that. Yes. Have you heard about the soldiers who are they posted at Siachen? Have you heard of Siachen? What is Siachen? Someone tell me? Have you heard of it? Siachen is a glacier and it is one of the highest points where our soldiers posted, right? And it's such high altitude and such low temperatures. It's very difficult for them. You know, like of course health issues are there. The fingers, the toes, constantly, there, right? And you know one very important, yes, absolutely, they carry dry fruits and canned food, and yes, your preserved food. So like in their diet, they get chocolates also, right? So because chocolate, like it gives us energy, isn't it? Right? But it doesn't mean that, oh my God, I attended a lecture, now I need energy to have a piece of chocolate. Not that way. Okay? Right? It is, yeah, when you really, you can't find anything. Yes, it has sugars also, your chocolates there. And, or some people get a serum excuse to have a piece of chocolate. So, right, you here at the high altitude, we're talking about nutrition. Nutrition plays an important role. People who work more, who are physically active, they're not going to worry about how many calories I'm consuming because they're going to burn them off. They're very active, right? People who are athletes, their nutrition, people who are mountaineers, people who are climbers, right? The soldiers, their diet is different, right? As a child, as a growing child, your diet is different. You need to have your milk, you need to have your fruits, vegetables, everything you need to have, right? And as we grow older, our diet changes a little bit because we're not so active, right? And so the thing is there at all stages of life, what is important? A balanced diet, good nutrition, right? Yes, and sometimes what happens in the morning is that when you feel, oh my God, I can't stand in this assembly any longer. What happens? Because you didn't have breakfast? Yes, that's why. So never leave home, never skip your breakfast, right? So have something to eat in the morning. So do you all have something to eat before coming to school? It's very, very important. Yes. So now hoping that you all are healthy and you take care of your health. Let us continue with the chapter. So we are here. We started off with the chapter, the summit within. In fact, I just maybe shared a video with you all, right? Yes. So we can just start. Do you have your books? Please open your books, all of you. Do you have the book? No. Very nice. What happened to your book? Good timing? Yes, sir. No. Did you take my book? And I hope you're going to bring a book tomorrow. Okay. Yes, here also everybody has a book. No, I can't ask you to share a book. No, no, I can't. You have the book? Yes. So what is a summit? What's a summit? What's a summit? Summit is a peak, right? Yes. Now it is there, you know, like, so here we're talking about Major Ahluwalia's experience. He's telling that when he reached the peak and how nature makes us realize that nature is so much stronger and powerful. When we look at the mountains, huge mountains, what do we realize? That we are so small. When we look at the lakes and the rivers and all these beautiful things, we realize that how beautiful everything is around us, right? And when we climb these peaks and yes, then we realize that these things are permanent. They're going to be there forever. And what is not going to be? So nature teaches us so many things here, right? So this teaches us that only. So he teaches us about the lesson that he learned. Okay, right. So Major HPS Ahluwalia was the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in 1965. How did he feel when he stood on the highest point in the world? You're on top of the world. There's nothing higher than this, isn't it? It seems, yes, you're at the highest point. So let us hear his story in his words, climbing the summit, and then the more difficult task of climbing the summit within. So this is going to be something like similar to what a fields contractor had to say, right? So about your inner talent and your inner potential. What is the summit here? We'll see what he has to say. Let's read the chapter and then we'll discuss. Yes, of all the emotions which surged through me as I stood on the summit of Everest, looking over miles of panorama below us, the dominant one, I think, was humility. We have discussed earlier about what the preparations that the mountaineers make, right? How they have to be at the base camp and they do the training and towards the higher mountain ranges, isn't it? The physical fitness is very important. Yes, and many of them are not even able to, last that long. And when you are there as a part of a team, so many things you learn. You need to learn about cooperating, you learn about helping others, you learn about it's not about me, but us, isn't it? So here, as a member of the team, there are so many things here. But he says that when we reach the peak, which peak are we talking about? Which peak did he climb? Mount Everest, right? And what do we know about Mount Everest? It's the highest peak in the world. And imagine the feeling you have. You've scaled the highest peak, most difficult thing you have done, right? So he was there. What do you think should be the feeling? You feel proud of yourself. Oh, I'm so strong. Yes, right. I survived. But here he realized humility. What is humility? Humbleness. That nature teaches us so many lessons, right? The fury of nature, the cold temperatures, the high peaks, the rocks, how difficult it is to climb. So it's not easy. So yes, he's very humbled that I was able to perform this task. Okay. Am I clear? Agam, Shireen, are you listening? Yes. Is it clear? Yeah. Do you have the book with you? You have the book? Okay. The physical in me seemed to say, thank God it's all over. Physical, my body was saying, thank God it's over, because it could not take maybe any more physical exertion. However, instead of being jubilant, there was a hint of sadness. Jubilant, happy, victorious, right? I've done something very, very, like, yes, I'm successful. Was it because I had already done the ultimate climbing and there would be nothing higher to climb and all roads hereafter would lead down? So when you start from the top, what do you do next? Right? So if you won a gold in the Olympics in your first attempt, would you want to participate further? I've already won a gold, now what? Right? Isn't it? So I've already scaled Mount Everest, which is the highest peak. So if I think of any other peak, it is going to be easier and it is not as difficult or maybe not as tall and as high as that peak, right? So he's saying that from then I thought that, see, I've done the most difficult thing. Other things are not going to seem so important. There would be nothing higher to climb and all roads hereafter would lead down. Lead down means lesser. Okay? Right? So he didn't have this sadness. He was jubilant. Physically, he was very happy. I'm successful. Right? So my body gave me that much courage and support. But emotionally, yes, he does feel that. Okay, what next then? What can I do next? By climbing the summit of Everest, you are overwhelmed by a deep sense of joy and thankfulness. It is a joy which lasts a lifetime. We have read about many people who were unsuccessful, many people who never made it back, right? So we are there. Yes, of course, if you reach the peak, that means you've done something very, very remarkable. It is a joy which lasts a lifetime. The experience changes you completely. The man who has been to the mountains is never the same again. You think, oh my God, I can participate in a marathon here in the city, right? I'll run so many kilometers. But you try to scale a mountain, it is different. So when you go to the hill station during the holidays and yeah, you think, okay, let's go for a climb. Is it easier or is it difficult? It's difficult, right? So it does take you a little time to get used to it. So your breath becomes a little short and you get tired very easily and you realize, oh my God, I need to start running a little more. I need to focus on my fitness. So climbing a mountain is very, very different from any other activity. Okay, right. The man who has been to the mountains is never the same again. You look at the mountains with amazement. Now you see, it is very difficult to scale them. It is difficult to climb them. As I look back at life after climbing Everest, I cannot help remarking about the other summit, the summit of the mind. No less formidable and no less easier to climb. So he's saying that, yes, after that, you scaled the mountain peak, you will also think about your mind. He said one thing, like, yeah, I'm happy. I've scaled the peak. I reached the top. I'm physically very strong, right? I have a lot of stamina. I'm physically fit. Then he says, what about your mind? How are you going to change your mind? Once you think you have done the most difficult thing, how are you going to make your mind realize that everything else is also equally challenging? You might become proud. Yes. You might become arrogant. I've scaled Mount Everest. Everything else is child's play. Isn't it? So how are you going to change that? So we need to change the way we think. So there are chances after climbing Mount Everest, what might you become? Proud, arrogant. So we need to change that. Okay. So this is there. Our mind we need to conquer. Our mind we need to change. Right. Let's see what he has to say. Even when getting down from the summit, what is easier, climbing up or coming down? Coming down is, yeah, you know that, okay, fine, we're reaching down now. When you're climbing, oh God, where is it going to end? Isn't it? So yeah, you know that. And of course, yeah, but so on the mountains and all, you have to be careful. So both ways, coming up, going up and coming down. So even when getting down from the summit, what's the summit? Peak. Yes. Once the physical exhaustion had gone, what's the physical exhaustion? Your body tired, aching, all that, isn't it? And you think when you reach the top, you forget how tired you are? Yes. Otherwise, while climbing, oh my God, one step and my lungs are going to burst. Isn't it? That is what you feel. But when you're coming down, you feel active and energized. I made it, isn't it? So why did the act of reaching the summit have such a hold on my imagination? It was already a thing of the past, something done yesterday. So it's not that they stay the night at the peak only, right? So there is a base camp a few, like let's say meters down, and that is where they stop. And the next day it would be that they started their descent. Okay, so it's very difficult to even stay for a couple of hours over there because of the cold winds and the temperature, right? So they start the downward climb. It was already a thing of the past, something done yesterday. What was done yesterday? Climbing the peak, reaching the peak. Yes. With every passing day, it would become more remote. Remote means far. Okay. So remote here is, it would become faded in the memory. It would be far. And then what would remain? Would my memories fade slowly away? Do you think it is easy for something so important to fade from your memory? No. Right? All these thoughts led to me to question myself as to why people climb mountains. Yeah, why can't they stay at home and enjoy life? Who's asking them go to such low temperatures and such problems? Why do they put them into so much of trouble? Right? So why do people climb mountains? Why do people take such risks? Can anybody tell me? Yes, at home also raise your hand if you want to give me the answer. Why do people take such risks? Yes, Jen? To become strong, to become popular. Adventure, okay. Yes. Why? Why do people climb mountains? For creating a record, okay, correct. Yes, so someone said creating a record, someone saying for adventure. Becoming popular. Do you become popular only by climbing mountains? What else? Yeah, you want to test your strength. You want to test, can I really do this? Isn't it? And do we start from Mount Everest? Or we can start slow, step by step, isn't it? Right? So yes, so people climb mountains to test their physical strength, also to create records for that risk. Yes, and they want to achieve something, and yeah, they want to maybe become memorable or immortal forever. Let's see, this person did this, isn't it? It is not easy to answer the question. Yes. The simpler answer would be, as others have said, because it is there, the mountain is there, let's climb it. But we all don't climb. So I don't think, oh my God, I have a holiday, like coming up for 1 week, maybe go and climb Mount Everest. Do we do that? No, we don't. We don't like coming out of our comfort zone. Isn't it? Even if we have to go out in the sun or walk for half a kilometer, we think, oh my God, this is the end of everything. Isn't it? So why do we put ourselves into so much of difficulty? Why do we test ourselves so much? Right? So mountains are there. So many people see those mountains. Not everybody climbs it. Right? Yes, so very brave people do that. Because it is there, it presents great difficulties. Man takes delight in overcoming obstacles. Absolutely. We have conquered nature. What is Mount Everest? I've conquered it. What is the South Pole? We reached there. What's the moon? We landed there. Isn't it? Right? So we are like that. We always want to show that we are so strong and nothing can stop us. Isn't it? Right? So the obstacles in climbing a mountain are physical. There are some obstacles which we have. Those obstacles are in our mind. Some are physical. You feel, oh my God, how will I do that? How will I walk so far? How will I reach the peak? Right? Fine. That is physical. But there are some obstacles in our mind. I can't learn this. It's such a difficult subject. I don't like this topic. I can't do it. Which obstacle is there? Is it physical or mental? It's mental. So there are some obstacles that are physical. Yes. There are some obstacles that are in our mind. We have created those obstacles. Applying to a summit means endurance, persistence, and willpower. What is endurance? Endurance. To endure something, to bear something, to tolerate something. Okay. What is persistence? Please write down. Do you know the meanings? What is persistence? Persist. To never give up. Continuous efforts. Willpower. What is willpower? I can do this. Right? Your determination. That is willpower. Okay? Yes. Next is the demonstration of these physical qualities is no doubt exhilarating, as it was for me also. So when you do something physical, right, those qualities are immediately visible. You were strong, you're physically fit, you could tolerate, right? That is why you were able to reach the peak. But when we talk about things where we require our mind, right? Where we require strength of mind, strength of character, those things are not visible. So climbing mountains, our strength is visible, right? But when we have to climb the peak within us, those qualities are intangible, abstract. Yes? Is this clear? Yes. And right, any doubts, any questions from this? Anything? So, right, what the thoughts that came to the mind when the writer reached the peak? What did you think when he climbed Mount Everest? What did you think when he had climbed Mount Everest? That there is no more higher peak left for him to climb, right? So what fear was there in his mind? As a result of that, what did he think? How challenging would he? I'm discussing that, the summit within and the peak of our mind. I'll be discussing that, Vedanta. Just wait. Let us proceed with the chapter, then I'll discuss it. Okay? So right now, what is it here? What has the narrator done? Is it something physical or is it mental also? Mental also. Right? If you say, I can't do this, there are chances you will never do that. Isn't it? Right? And very cliche thing I'm going to say, even impossible says, I am possible. Isn't it right? So when we give up, when a mind gives up, our body also might not. But if you say, yes, I can do it. Right? So look at it here. You have the races here. You see the athletes also. You see the 100-meter race. So you see the 200 meters and the 400 meters. You see people doing the walkathon and marathon. And in the last few, you can say what, seconds, things can change. Someone who's able to survive to the end, right? Who's going to keep that energy, is going to keep that momentum. Yeah, let me manage here till the end. Right? So if you give up, you lost. So mind is also very, very important. Okay? So right here, we'll end here today. Okay? And we continue